everybody. Are you wondering what to do after your orchid is done blooming? Do you cut the whole stalk off? Do you just let it go? What do you do, right? So there's three different ways, three different things that you can do after your orchid is done blooming. So this one, look at this beautiful one. This one just opened up most of its flowers. So, you know, they'll last, these Phalaenopsis orchids will last a good few months if you take good care of them. So they really put on a long show. But what do you do after you're done, right? So the first thing that you can do, number one, is just leave the stalk alone as it is, even after all the flowers fall off. I normally don't do this. It's an option. It's out there if you want to do that. But what will happen is sometimes, you know, you may get a couple more flowers at the tip of the stalk. Okay, once this is done, it may eke out a few more flowers. They'll be a little bit smaller than the previous ones. And the stalk will kind of get lanky and kind of weird looking. So I don't recommend that one, but it's an option. Number two is the option that I pretty much always do after all the flowers are shriveled up and fell off. So let me demonstrate that for you, what it looks like. And then also I'll show the result of it because I have a lot of different orchids here in various stages of growth. So for example, let me move this over here to show you guys. Okay. Isn't it beautiful? Look at it. So this one I actually didn't even stake because it gave me a nice arching stem and I have it on a plant stand. So I think it gives it a nice graceful look. I don't always stake them. But let's say once this is done, okay, all of these flowers are going to dry up eventually and fall off. These are fresh, so these will last for a good few months. What you're going to do, and I'm going to show you here. So all along the flowering stem, what you'll see are some nodes all along the stem. So they're little bumpy areas. Okay, so let me bring this closer so you can see. Here we go. Okay. All right. You see all these little bumpy areas here? These are all nodes. Okay. So what you want to do is take a look at your bottom flower. So this is the bottommost flower, okay? And I'm going to go down the flower spike until I reach, you know, maybe one or two nodes under the bottom flower, okay? And then I'm going to cut right above that node. And what this will do is it will encourage your flower spike to continue branching out and blooming and extending the life on your original flower stalk. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like now. So I did that with this orchid. Okay, so you can see where I cut off the original flower stalk here, right? It's brown and dead, okay? And you see how I cut right above. So I went along, I looked at the bottom flower, okay, and then on the flower stalk, and then went down one or two nodes and cut right above that node. And what happened was this lovely branch, right? So I got a nice side spike here. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 buds, not bad, right? And now it's going to continue blooming for me. So, okay, but one word of caution, you may not always have the branching occur. So let me show you another orchid where I did that, right? This one had 2 flowers and I did the same thing. I trimmed the stalk right below the bottom flower, right 1 or 2 nodes below the bottom flower and waited for, I don't know how long, too long. And you can see this one has started to yellow, okay? Not everyone is going to take, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with your plant, right? Plants are like people, right? They're all different. There's nothing wrong with that. So at this point, what I do is I'll leave the flower stalks on the Phalaenopsis orchids until they turn yellow. And then I just simply take a nice pair of sharp scissors, go to the base, and just snip it off as close as I can to the bottom, to the base of the plant, without actually injuring or harming the plant. So you can see there where I cut it off. Okay, that's really all you have to do. I used to, after a plant was done blooming, I would just cut the whole flower stalk off, but you can do that. You can, but why not extend your flowers, right? Just like this one. So those are three things that you can do after your orchid is done blooming. And don't forget that, you know, these plants will bloom every year if you take good care of them, right? There's always a new flower spike, so don't freak out if you have one that dries up after it's done. And don't freak out when the flowers, you know, start turning brown and fall off, because that's supposed to happen. So many people have come to me and said, my orchid is dying, my orchid is dying. And, you know, I've asked them, well, how long have the flowers been open? And, you know, they're complaining the flowers are dead, they're falling off, my orchid is dying. And then they come back to me and they say, oh, 2-3 months, you know, even 4 months. Well, you know, they don't last forever. If you want something that lasts forever, get a plastic plant or a silk plant. Okay. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will put out more videos like this on orchid care or whatever you guys like. So comment below if you'd like to see me comment or talk about a certain plant topic. I love interacting with you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.